Daniel.
Hey.
You're inspired by film soundtracks.
Uh-huh.
Is your music film soundtrack?
It could be, if it wanted to be. My music can... I like the idea that it can be used for that if it wanted to be, implemented into specific scenes, specifically of like a spiritual kind of idea. Then it can also be used in a home setting, a meditative setting, where it's kind of designed to be easily listening and allows the listener to kind of interpret it how they want to.
Okay, you recently went to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Is your music Las Vegas?
I wouldn't say it's Las Vegas, but there's definitely elements from that which inspired me from shows which I saw. So I saw lots of art out there which was nothing that I'd seen over here before, so those images helped a lot. Lighting as well, massive amounts of lighting, and just different scenery which I'd not encountered before, and especially going to the Grand Canyon, that was really good because that vast space that was allowed you to travel and see as far as the eyes could go and just nothing to impair you, which kind of allowed my mind to wander, and I can bring all that back and you can use that, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you're looking 4,000 feet down into nothingness.
Didn't you see some circus?
Cirque du Soleil. Yeah. A piece called Mystère.
And did that influence your music, or does that also influence your performance?
I think that it influenced me in terms of the style, where I can imitate their style, and it allowed me to kind of reaffirm what I already know. And it's nice and kind of reassuring in a way that they showed me, and I saw that they use elements and styles which I use in my work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's really good to see kind of where their creativity led, and in turn of what ideas they gave to me.
Mm-hmm.
So how I could use their influence to then further my influence and what I can come up with in the future. So that was really powerful, and again their imagery was really really striking, and I took loads of like different interpretation from that compared to other people who saw the show, but that was what I thought it was all about.
Okay. Another question. You are a thrash metal hardcore drummer.
Yeah.
Is your music thrash metal hardcore?
No, it's not. Parts of it could be influenced by melodic structures which can be found in death and thrash metal.
Right, okay.
So you could make a comparison between the two in that aspect, especially in the guitar riffs, the vocal riffs which I do, which are just interpreted in a slightly different style, but you could quite easily transfer my vocal riffs onto a metal guitar and you'd get some interesting sounds. I imagine that could be quite different actually, quite interesting to see. So there's definitely elements of that which have influenced me in that regards then, yeah. So it could be classified as being influenced by thrash metal, death metal.
Yeah, and then the fact you have those innate rhythmical skills has to be transferable into any style.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I like my music to kind of be almost out of time, so I can choose as and when I can adjust time and then free time almost.
And what about dissonance? A little bit of dissonance.
Yeah, that features in my work quite a lot.
Is that something that features in death metal?
You get it in terms of you get clashy riffs with one another in metal music.
And the drop tunings, the bass.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You get that low kind of chugging noise, which again features in my kind of undertoning, as it were.
Okay. Final question. You have a massive respect for vocal health.
Yeah, definitely.
Is your music vocal health?
Yes. Everything that my work allows the voice to do is to, over a period of time, and if done correctly and safely, to free the voice. So it helps ground the individual. I find it's very focusing, and with the correct style and the correct training and the right mentoring, if it's done properly, it can be very freeing but also very vocally safe. So with my work I have quite an extensive range which I explore, and that enables me to not only come up with different sound but to explore my register, which is in some regards challenging, but again, if done in a safe manner, is good for the vocal apparatus because it allows it to be used and implement that grounding, and so it is essentially you're getting that full range of motion of the voice, so you're using your voice for how it's intended to be used. So it can be very freeing over long periods of time. You'd want to take breaks, just as if in anything else that you do. But for a beginner getting into this style of work, or for someone who potentially has had vocal difficulties in the past and is looking to get back into voice work, it's a very good way to get into reaffirming that control.
Yeah, so intention and expression are linked. The integrity of it is linked to vocal health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a foundation, the health aspect, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, like a building block in which everything can then be added onto, which is what I do. I mean, people come up to me after my performances and kind of say, like, you've got a really wide range. Do you have any, like, fatigue in your voice? Does it hurt your voice? But, I mean, I've just been rehearsing now for a good hour or so, and I feel I've got no soreness or anything there. Like, if anything, I feel as if I've got more of a tone to me. Like I feel like I'm resonating.
I can feel it sat on the Satinos. Yeah.
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 So yeah, it's definitely a platform which I use to build everything that I do.
Very good. Is there anything else you want to share about your work?
It allows me to be creative, and it allows me to hopefully inspire people to come up with meanings in their life, or just to give them that time to create an idea in their head which they might not have come up with before, to allow them to think this is something new, or this reminds me of this, or I wonder if I could do this sometime. I like the idea that my work allows people to come to new conclusions which they
Yeah.
might not have.
And the journey.
Absolutely.
You talk about before you've talked about music being in time,
Mhm.
and travelling in its own self,
Mhm.
and taking the listener on
On a
some
journey.
form of temporal journey. Okay.
Yeah.
Wicked. Thank you. Cheers.